How's it going, guys? It's Frankie from Extreme. I got Eric over here to my right. I'm gonna be pinning him up against Brandon on my left. We're gonna do a fun video for you guys today. We got a kit from AutoZone that's supposed to have everything you need to install some window tint. We're gonna be installing it on our shop Nissan Altima here. This is a vehicle we picked up and it actually came with some window tint on there already. So come over here and I'll show you guys what a cheap window film will actually do over time. So if you guys want to get close up here, I can show you guys. I don't know if you can tell, but up here there is a band of tint. That was what the whole window looked like when they installed it. So this film was either so old or so cheap that everything else faded essentially to clear. So we're gonna be removing this. We're gonna install some Llumar FormulaOne Classic on here, 35% on the sides. And then Brandon is gonna be installing the AutoZone tint. All right, guys, so this is the AutoZone kit. It says it includes everything that you need to install window tint on a car, truck, or SUV. It comes with a small spray bottle, a knife, and I'm guessing this is a squeegee. Be careful though, because on the front, it very clearly says it has everything needed. But on the back, on the bottom, it says additional materials may be necessary for an installation. So I'm gonna show you guys what I use on a day-to-day basis to install window tint. First off, this is my Judge squeegee. This is a prep squeegee that I use to clean my windows. This is my Agent Orange squeegee that I use to install my windows. This is my shank. I use this when I'm two-staging a glass. In here, I have my Easy Reach to clean the windows. I don't use this to install. I have my blue Tri-Edge. Use this one to install on the sides, the bottoms. If it's needed, my little chiseler to clean some stuff up. Nobody's perfect. My yellow turbo for small windows like quarter glasses and vents. And then a yellow diamond tip wrapped in a blue shop towel. I use this to extract as much water as I can. The towel is so I don't scratch the film. And then we do use the kegs. We have 4 kegs around the shop that we use to install the windows, but if necessary, these are my Gasket Pro spray bottles. So this is everything that I use to install on a day-to-day basis. We're gonna put this up against those 3 tools and we'll see how they hold up. We forgot about probably the 2 most important parts. My Olfa blade, day-to-day use. This is always in my pocket, even when I'm not at work, you never know. And my wet edge to shrink windows. So these 2 added on to that. Again, we'll see how the other stuff holds up. All right, guys, so I got Brandon here with me. We're gonna do a little bit of an unboxing with this AutoZone kit. It says there's enough film in here to do a back glass, but it's only 24 inches wide. So, you know, there's enough there to do an SUV, maybe a pickup truck, but a sedan. What they're gonna want you to do is seam 2 or 3 pieces to do the back glass, which is how they used to do it back in the day. We have the luxury of having bigger rolls, 36 inches, 40 inches, whatever we need at our disposal. So we're gonna not focus on the back glass today, but let's get on with the unboxing. There we go. All right, so here is our 5% window tint. It says it's 24 inches by 22 feet. This should, in theory, be enough to do a full sedan. You got your spray bottle here. This looks like something we would use if we were doing some interior PPF pieces. And there's no filter on this, so better use clean water. And then you have your knife and your squeegee. This is all they give you. This is all they give you to install and clean, so we're gonna go ahead and have him use that. We'll see how scratched the tint looks afterwards. And then this is your knife with your blade in there. Again, it doesn't say if this blade is stainless steel. For those of you who don't know, stainless steel blades are the only blades you can use while cutting on glass because carbon blades will scratch it. So if this is a carbon blade, we're gonna find out pretty quick. And then finally, we got our step-by-step instructions. 7 steps, 8 steps. And I was right. Look, if you guys want to zoom in right here, it has them doing the back glass in 4 pieces. So they're going old school with it. But yeah, so let's get started. Let's get to it. We'll see how Brandon does here. Again, Brandon has no experience doing window tint. He is one of our PPF installers in training. So this would be like anybody else. If somebody's willing to DIY it, you know, this is a perfect example of what the process would be like. We'll put him up against Eric, who's a seasoned veteran. And yeah, let's get going. All right, guys, so we were about to get started, and then we realized they didn't give us any slip solution. There's nothing in here, so we still have to use our own slip solution for this, which is fine. Well, we have baby shampoo here. We don't use baby shampoo. We use Tint slime, but for purposes of doing it at home, people usually can just run to Walmart, get baby shampoo, and use that. So we'll use that for this. And then here, let me read off what additional materials it suggests you might need. It says you might need a spray bottle, okay, mild liquid detergent, a straight edge ruler, a tape measure, a razor blade, a dry cloth, transparent tape, I don't know for what, a squeegee, even though they included one, you might need another one, household window cleaner. What they fail to let you know is that household window cleaner like Windex contains ammonia. What ammonia does to window tint is it actually causes it to start flaking off and it laminates it, which would essentially void the warranty on any reputable company. They don't include that. So all right, let's get some baby shampoo in there and we'll get started.
Later. A few moments later. Later. One eternity later.
All right, guys, so the spray bottle broke, so we gotta improvise now and either use one of our own or make this work somehow. All right, guys, so we got Brandon to do this window for us. So let's kind of go over, recap everything. First off, it looked pretty good yesterday when he did it, but now that it's dried up, you guys can get a close up here. We got a bunch of moisture and dirt along the top. We got a bunch of creases here. We got a really fat crease here. There's also the top edge is kind of, I mean, you can, you know what I mean? Like I'm grabbing that with my finger here. I'll actually do him a favor. There you go. But anyway, if you guys want to come over on this side, you can see that the visibility, the color, the clarity is non-existent. It has this really, really ugly blue hue to it. This is going to be really hard to see out of at night. Obviously, there's no such thing as a tint that's clear on the inside and dark on the outside, but higher quality materials will have better clarity and visibility as opposed to this. Again, this is the squeegee that it came with. If I put any sort of pressure on the window tint, it's gonna scratch it easy. I can feel it scratching as I'm doing this. So you're gonna have issues with moisture being left behind, scratches in the tint. Another thing, gotta take into consideration the cost. So it cost us $30 to get this kit. We did one window. Obviously, if you're okay with this kind of work, I mean, more power to you, but this is kind of embarrassing. So at this point, what you'd have to rip this off, do this one again. And that's just one window. Think about doing that for every single other window, let alone the back glass. That's gonna be the hardest piece of glass to do. So you're gonna end up, what we end up seeing a lot of people say is they'll do the kits, they'll try them at home, they'll end up buying another one and another one because they can't get it to their liking. And at the end of the day, they end up paying almost as much as they would have paid if they came to us in the first place. So you're gonna save yourself money in the long run by going to a professional that's gonna install it correctly. Not only that, but you're gonna get a lifetime warranty with it. So if any of the bubbles pop up, if it starts turning purple, pink, peeling up, whatever it is, you know, as long as it's not accidental damage, you can just bring it back to us, we'll rip it off, redo it for free. Stuff like this, obviously, I mean, I'm not even sure what their warranty is, if there is a warranty, but you know, you're probably looking at 6 months of it actually looking, you know, somewhat dark until it starts turning purple. You guys have all seen those cars on the road, purple windows, bubbled up back glass. You know, you obviously don't want that.